and looking to add to it today. For the Darwin Salties, just their second time effectively in the league. They competed in a shortened league in 2022, but they've recruited superbly in the off-season here and put a fantastic team on the floor. After losing the first two games of the regular season to the Wollongong Rollerhawks here in this venue, they reeled off 16 wins in a row to top the league and then won their 17th in a row in the semi-finals. So arguably it would be an upset today if the Rollerhawks were to find a way to get over the top of them.
I think they'll definitely have the crowd support here. The Rollerhawks have definitely got the crowd advantage, but the Salties are a very strong team. We've seen them play hard for 40 minutes, and it'll be a challenge for the Rollerhawks to keep up that pace for that whole time.
Starters are on the floor. The Darwin Salties in the blue uniforms with a fantastic Indigenous pattern on those uniforms. The Rollerhawks in the black with the red trim. For the Rollerhawks, it's Sean Russell, Hannah Dodd, Stephen Elliott, Luke Popel and Tristan Knowles, the inimitable Tristan Knowles. For the Salties, Samuel White, Johnny Brown, Yannick Blair, Jalen Brown and Tom O'Neill-Thorne. The Rollerhawks with the first possession. Tristan Knowles with the ball now. Surveys things, runs a handoff with Luke Popel. Popel dribbles middle, shot clock running down, finds Elliott. Elliott's shot's a little long. Sean Russell, the offensive rebound. Tristan Knowles swoops in to grab a second offensive rebound. It will reset things as the shot clock drifts under 10 seconds. Drives middle, looks, passes. Russell. First shot did everything but fall. Jalen Brown with the ball, hands off to Tom O'Neill-Thorne. He finds Johnny Brown inside. That shot's blocked by Russell. Outlet pass to Popel. Thinks about the advance pass. Decides against it. Gets his way into the middle of the paint. Finds Elliott. Elliott looks for Russell with the lob pass. Deflected by O'Neill-Thorne. And we have the first foul of the game.
And those rebounds are going to become really important for the Rollerhawks, collecting already a few rebounds and making sure the Salties don't get any second chance points.
Our three officials this afternoon as we see crew chief Blaine Krapianov just untangling a bit of a collision in the middle of the floor. He's joined by Kenji Sato McFarlane and Ethan Lloyd. Tom O'Neill-Thorne switches hands, thinks about a three, launches it. It's a little short. Rebound falls to Popel. Eventually finds its way back to Elliott. He's off on transition. Knowles with the ball. Weaves in and out. Brown out of his chair. Play will be allowed to continue. Popel gets the scoring underway for Wollongong.
The Salties have got to be aware of that. They've got to look for those outside shots. Luke Popel is a dangerous shooter on the side of the Rollerhawks.
O'Neill-Thorne finds Jalen Brown. O'Neill-Thorne skip pass to Jonty Brown on the right-hand side of the floor. He thinks pass. Finds O'Neill-Thorne rolling back. The wheelchair equivalent of a fadeaway. That's good to tie us up at 2. Just a couple of minutes gone in the grand final gold medal game. National Wheelchair Basketball League. Tristan Knowles is about to head to his 6th Paralympics. Drives baseline, kicks to the middle. Sean Russell. His shot's good. Familiar blocking and screening action in the backcourt, something you don't see as much of in able-bodied basketball. Johnny Brown rolls into a three-point shot. It's short. Russell the rebound. Tristan Knowles calling for his troops to push. He finds a little bit of contact, cut off. Back to Luke Popel for 3. That's good. The home crowd finds their voice.
That's a dangerous little passage of play for the Salties, trying to take a 3 and not landing it, and then having the response from the Rollerhawks. They need an inside shot here.
Tom O'Neill-Thorne, left alone, takes the space, then finds Jalen Brown for the layup.
And that's the inside shot that they needed just to get back into something, get their rhythm going.
Knowles with the ball for Wollongong. Wheels across using a couple of screens. The screen is split. Popel flares. Russell rolls to the basket. Gets the pass but can't make the relatively close shot. Jonty Brown with the ball for the Salties. Tom O'Neill-Thorne in rhythm. Rolls into that three. It's short. Knowles the rebound. Calling out a play. He rolls into his own three-point shot. 10-4 lead early.
This is almost an exact repeat of what we saw yesterday, and that's possibly a dangerous thing for the Rollerhawks. Don't get too confident with their lead here.
Jalen Brown almost mishandling that one. Skips it across to Jonty Brown. His mid-range shot is true. Knowles, a little bit of token backcourt pressure there. Samuel White tries to pick him up. Forces him to come back using the Russell screen. Russell's off rolling. In the meantime, Popel for three from the perimeter. Jonty Brown the rebound. 10-6, just 5 minutes played. The grand final, the National Wheelchair Basketball League. Tom O'Neill-Thorne gets deep into the paint. Gets the shooter's roll off the back of the rim. That would be the horn to indicate there's a substitution coming. Brett Stibner's coming onto the floor in 11 for the Rollerhawks. Sean Russell taking a breather.
Yeah, I think that's an important substitution. Just give Sean Russell a quick break and time to get back in his rhythm and put Brett Stibner's on and kind of push this Salties lineup.
Brett Stibner's former Paralympian himself in 2016 in the unique position, which is something unique in the sport. He's still playing at the highest level, but will be one of the Rollers' assistant coaches in Paris at the Paralympics in a couple of weeks' time. Salties with the ball, trailing 10-8, early stages of the grand final. Jonty Brown with the lob pass, the long arms of Jalen Brown reels it in and in one motion flips the shot up.
And that's much more of what I was expecting from the Salties. Just look for some inside shots, claw that deficit back, and now look to push something aggressive.
Stibner's to Popel, handoff to Knowles. Dodd sets a back screen for Popel. In the meantime, the ball goes to Stibner's down on the left block. His high-arcing shot is sweet.
And showing even in his veterancy, he's still got that fine shooting on him.
O'Neill-Thorne uses a myriad of screens, gets himself down to the block, skips it back out. Jalen Brown drives baseline, kicks across to Jonty Brown. He rolls into a shot. A despairing hand of Elliott manages to distract it. It seemed as if Luke Popel was heading to the basket, but in fact there'd been a screen to free him up, and an illegal one at that. An offensive foul on Wollongong. Just a touch over 3 minutes remaining, quarter one. From Shell Harbour City Stadium. It's a full house and a fantastic contest so far. As Jonty Brown gets the shot away, but the foul identified before that shot.
Jonty Brown just thinking that he might have been in the shooting action there, but referees thinking that he pulled the ball back down into his lap.
O'Neill-Thorne, beautifully run baseline out of bounds play. Finishes with Sam White slicing down the middle to tie the scores at 12. Stibners hands off to Knowles. Series of cuts. Back to Stibners, down on the block. Fake. Gets Jalen Brown almost up out of his chair, but the shot misses. O'Neill Thorne just checking what's happening behind him on transition as he floats down the floor. Jonty Brown continues his cut, gets the ball back, and puts the Salties in front for the first time in the game.
And that's a fantastic passage for the Salties, getting that defensive pressure really, really hard and then pushing super fast. You saw Jalen Brown push down very fast off that rebound and get those points.
Jonty Brown with his and the team's first foul. Rollerhawks from the side. Popel inbounds to Knowles, issuing all sorts of instructions. Drives baseline. Stibners rolls, gets the pass back, it's blocked. O'Neill Thorne away. Draws some contact, flipped out of his chair, but still makes the layup.
The Salties just looking pretty dominant here.
Transition certainly a feature as Rollerhawks head coach Brendan Dowler just asked the bench for a timeout. Probably not a bad one at this stage, Campbell. The Salties with the sort of run that we saw in the first game.
Yeah, this is looking a little too familiar for the Rollerhawks. A little bit dangerous, and seeing those fast breaks. The Salties pulling in those rebounds, and already they've got one or two players getting over the half, being ready to push into that offense. And the Rollerhawks just looking a little bit frazzled here. A little bit stressed out, and I think they've got to calm it down. They've got to get back into their shooting rhythm. We know that they like to take a little slower of an offense and get a little bit more set up, and they've got to find that rhythm here.
Right, as both teams discuss their tactics, before you blink, the timeout is over. There's the familiar horn to indicate that process. We've got our man Tim Fairs, who's been listening in to the Rollerhawks huddle.
Yeah, guys, just listening to Coach Dowell just saying, and he was pretty happy with what's going on offensively, but he did encourage his team to take a little bit more time off the clock and just be a little bit more patient. Defensively is where he wants his team to really lock in right now and just be a bit more focused to make sure that they're stopping this Salties attack.
And that would align with what you've been talking about, Campbell, that he's looking for the Rollerhawks to take a little more time on offense.
Yeah, that offense really needs to slow down. They need to get consistent shots. They know that they can hit those shots, but they're trying to play a little too much to the speed of the Salties and getting a little bit lost in it.
Right, play back underway. Tristan Knowles drives middle, skates out. Another deflected pass. And a turnover. Jalen Brown all smiles despite almost flipping out of his chair.
He's all too familiar with that. He plays with his body on the line.
Yeah, the familiar gum chewing, exuberance of youth. Jonty Brown left unattended at the perimeter. Sam White cut down the middle, absolutely open. Yannick Blair unable to make the spinning layup fit. Tristan Knowles looks at three. That's off. O'Neill Thorne the rebound. And an offensive foul. Yannick Blair not convinced that was his foul, but the officials are. Ball kicks ahead. Luke Popel. Picked up by Jalen Brown. Dribbles towards Hannah Dodd's screen. Elliott cuts down the middle, gets a little bit of contact. Play continues. Blair the rebound, flips to O'Neill Thorne. O'Neill Thorne probing. Thinks better of it, reels back around, tried to find a cutting Jalen Brown. Stibners was awake to that. Bounce pass to break the backcourt pressure. Knowles expertly to Elliott. He can't get the layup to go. Claps his hands in frustration. Jalen Brown with an opportunity to take the last shot of the quarter now. Time running down. O'Neill Thorne, he'll launch three. Does a lap of honour and falls out. That's it, quarter time. Darwin Salties 17. Wollongong Rollerhawks have been stuck on 12 for a few minutes now, Campbell.
Yeah, I think they've just gotten a little bit lost in their offense. I mean, both teams have had a few offensive plays that haven't looked that good. We've seen the Salties maybe get a little bit too fancy with one of those passes there. But really, the Rollerhawks just not getting their shots to go and trying to play with a little too much speed. I think still, as we heard from the huddle before, they're just playing a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too fast, and trying to match the Salties who like that style of play.
Rolling back.
And it's not really working out for them.
If you notice on the back of the referee's shirt, you'll see
cut off.
WBA moniker.
That's good.
Of Wheelchair Basketball Australia, a brand new organisation that was set up in January this year to take control of running the revamped men and women's national wheelchair leagues. They've been able to do that with the support of the Beluga Foundation, who've been simply fantastic in what they've provided. Draws some full home and away season and these fantastic finals to proceed. And with the rollers heading to Paris for the Paralympics and the gliders having only narrowly missed an opportunity to get themselves to Paris, but the Paralympics coming up in Australia in 2032, it's vital that there is a foundational pathway, Campbell, for the men and women's national teams.
Yeah, it's a fantastic thing to have this league back, and I think it's a huge powerful step for a lot of younger players to come through the ranks. Especially even on this Salties side, we see quite a few younger players, especially Jalen Brown coming into rollers representation.
Shot's good. Contact, cut off.
It's a fantastic
Back
thing.
to Luke Popel. Yeah, he will be one of six in the rollers team for the Paralympics in 2 weeks' time, along with Luke Popel from the Rollerhawks. And on top of that, you've got six-time Paralympian Tristan Knowles. Well, this will be his sixth Paralympics.
It's a fantastic thing to have someone so experienced to kind of lead all of these new players in. I think it's a really good thing to have someone so experienced, especially alongside Sean Norris as well, with the same sixth Paralympics coming up.
We're underway again, second quarter. Jalen Brown runs a little handoff. O'Neill Thorne looks the back cut. It's not there. Sam White, the long rebound for the Salties. And the man with the ball, I'm almost surprised that he missed. Ryo Fujimoto, Japanese Paralympic legend who's been a revelation in the league. Sam White drives in. His layup's off. Sean Russell, the rebound, out to Stibners. Knowles balances things up, skips the ball to Stibners. His long two was good. O'Neill Thorne surveys the floor. Fujimoto inside. Series of fakes. Makes the shot, but referee Blaine Krapianov has determined that Rio was there for a little too long.
We tend to see forwards do that quite often. They'll plant in the paint and they'll be thinking, I've got time to shoot, and maybe just wasting a little too much time there.
3 seconds, the maximum time any offensive player is allowed in the navy blue painted area on the court here at Shell Harbour. So Tristan Knowles driving middle, cleverly creating contact, but the shot just won't go for him. O'Neill Thorne the rebound. He streaks down the floor. Finds Jalen Brown, back to O'Neill Thorne. He's fouled before the shot. The official looked like he had to think about that to figure out whether there might have been continuation, but he certainly waved away the basket.
I think the referee arguing that the contact might have created the spin that he then shot through. That contact was far before that shot actually went up.
Jalen Brown with the three off the inbound. Found himself open. Fujimoto guarding Knowles. Knowles uses the Russell screen back to Stibners for three. It's a little long. Jalen Brown, those long arms with the rebound. Streaks down the floor. Floats a delicate pass to Fujimoto, who goes finger roll, draws some contact, and displays that infectious smile of his.
He's one of those players that's fun to watch, and he looks like he's having fun too. And, I'm sure that's why he's come back to the game after a little bit of a break in Japan and come over here to play.
As Fujimoto converts the three-point play. (23-14), the Salties advantage. The foul on Yannick Blair. He's not so happy with Tristan Knowles, who appears to be giving the reeling him in gesture as he rolls to the sideline. Campbell, for anybody not familiar, they might be surprised to see number 9 on the floor for the Rollerhawks, Hannah Dodd. Can you explain a little of what she's been up to today and her important role in the team?
Yeah, so she's actually just come off the win of the gold medal in the women's with the Sydney Uni Flames. She's an incredible player in the women's league, and women can play in the men's league, and they attract a 1-point deduction. So all players have a classification from 1 to 4.5 based on their physical ability and the condition that they come with. And you can have 14 points on the court, so she attracts 1 less point. Can open up a lot of other alternative players.
As Tom O'Neill-Thorne with his own transition three answers Tristan Knowles' mid-range shot to cement the Salties lead at 10, 26-16. 3 minutes gone, second quarter, grand final. National Wheelchair Basketball League. Coming to you from Shell Harbour City Stadium, and a very boisterous Shell Harbour Stadium. As the Rollerhawks reduce the lead back to 8. That shot may have caught a bit of the wire when unseen. That's the supporting wire above the backboard. But play goes on. Tristan Knowles dribbles left using multiple screens. Russell comes back to screen for him, flips to Stibners. Stibners looks at a rolling Dodd, can't quite find her. Fujimoto puts his hand up to indicate that he's fouled somebody. Stibners in this case.
As he's rolling back, you can't play defense too close while you're moving back. They'll call that every day.
There is multiple situations where defenders get caught with their back to the offensive player, and it's just a routine part of the game. Stibners converts the assist from Knowles. Jalen Brown's down out of his chair again. Shows his remarkable dexterity and strength. Just flips himself back up. O'Neill-Thorne inbounds to him. 6 minutes remaining. It's the Darwin Salties 26. Wollongong Rollerhawks 20. The last game of a massive finals weekend. Jalen Brown back to Fujimoto. Multiple fakes. Back to Jalen Brown. His size is up to 2. Caught in between banking and putting it straight in. Tristan Knowles does a somersault out of his chair. He's none too impressed. The official, calmly, Ethan Lloyd in this case, calmly explains what he's seen and why he's called what he's called. And Knowles is satisfied with that explanation. Ball's inbounded. Nick Taylor on the floor now for the Rollerhawks in 14. The Stibners wheels back around. Knowles cuts back door. Gets the Stibners pass. And cuts the lead to 4. Fujimoto gives a bit of a 3-point fake. Constantly a maze of fakes and feints. He's off with the mid-range shot. Knowles the rebound.
And Fujimoto just not looking quite as strong as we might expect him to off that game yesterday. He was shooting 75% both inside and outside the 3-point line.
Russell, tremendous back cut. He cut right off the wheel of Fujimoto, had his back turned, worrying about Dodd's cut. Some beautiful complementary play there.
And that's where the Rollerhawks are so strong. They drag defense to one side and they have other options going through on the other side.
Fujimoto stops that Rollerhawks run with a consummate jumper from 15 feet. Knowles constantly checking the seams on the ball. Quite often a prelude to a perimeter shot from him, but in this case it's a pass. Stibners, the shot clock dribbles down under 10. He skips to Knowles. Knowles steadies himself. Ball hits the front of the rim. Won't fall. O'Neill Thorne the outlet. Russell there for the rebound. He misses, but Taylor doesn't. Nick Taylor with the offensive rebound and putback. And the horn would indicate the Salties want to call their own timeout. A fantastic rollicking affair here. It's the Salties 28, the Wollongong Rollerhawks 26.
This is a fantastic game that we're seeing from both sides. The Rollerhawks really clawing back that deficit and showing that they're not going to go out without a fight. They've moved on from that game yesterday and they're prepared to take the Salties on.
Yeah. Brendan Dowler, no doubtedly the Wollongong head coach, as we can spy a little bit of what he's doing now. Looks positive.
Always the animated coach.
Things a little calmer over on the Salties bench. Head coach Jason Iverson.
And I think that could be quite valuable for them to have a bench that is more calm and more relaxed to keep those fouls down. We know that they struggled in the other game, getting a little bit stressed out by those fouls.
And we've got our man Tim Fairs, who's been in the Salties huddle. What can you tell us, Tim?
Yeah, Coach Iverson just wanted to remind his players that they're good, he said. He just wants them to focus on their spacing a little bit more. At quarter time, I was having a listen in, and he was talking about how they were giving the Rollerhawks trouble and pushing them out of their shots. He seems to think that they've got to go back to that right now to encourage poor shots, Tim, and get back on top.
So general positivity is the message, Campbell, which fits in with what you were saying about Iverson's coaching style. Johnny Brown has that attempted pass deflected by Knowles.
And the Salties may be needing a little bit of that positivity, keep their heads up and keep moving on to the next task after the shots do or don't make.
O'Neill Thorne finds Fujimoto. There might have been a little bit of contact on his arm. He looks ruefully at the official, but he went ahead with the shot, I think, expecting there to be a foul called. None was forthcoming. Knowles to Stibners. He wheels around. Dodd with the screen. Kicks to Taylor. He tries the give and go with Russell. It's deflected. Sam White comes up with the ball. And O'Neill Thorne is streaking down the floor as Nick Taylor's out of his chair in the background, but play will go on. 5-on-4. Fujimoto, baseline. He really is the master at finding a way to draw contact.
And Sean Russell being the victim of that and has been, this is his third foul and has been in trouble in the same issue in the previous game.
It'll be interesting to see if head coach Brendan Dowler decides to give Russell a rest. All players allowed a total of 5 fouls, and on that 5th foul they'll be disqualified from the game. So with 3 minutes to go till half time, as Fujimoto makes the first of his 2 free throws and the second. Just a note of caution for Russell. Bearing in mind he's a vastly experienced former Paralympian himself. Knowles drives across using the Dodd screen. Looks around. Stivner's still held up in the back court by the attention of O'Neill Thorne. O'Neill Thorne happy to have him out of the play. And it's O'Neill Thorne who has the ball now. Transition, drives middle. Surveys the floor. Johnny Brown. He makes the layup.
And a fantastic pass there to get right on the edge of Jonty Brown's reach, just so he was out of danger of the defenders.
Dodd kicks ahead to Knowles. He drives left. Looking at various cutters. Stibners comes through. Russell scoops it up. Draws the contact. Rio is not pleased. Let me say he doesn't think that he's caught any contact. Rio Fujimoto, that is. That's his second personal foul. And as Sean Russell was fouled in the act of shooting and he's made the shot, he'll have an opportunity for one bonus free throw worth a single point. That rolls tantalisingly off the rim. The margin stays at 4. Darwin Salties 32. Wollongong Rollerhawks 28. Fujimoto left unguarded. That's dangerous.
This is what we saw hurt the Rollerhawks just the other game yesterday. Fujimoto hitting a few too many threes and bringing that lead up quite strong.
Knowles looking to answer. His shot's a little long. Sam White the rebound. Finds O'Neill Thorne. He's probing down the floor. Ball in one hand. Wheels around. Sees Johnny Brown going baseline. He makes another layup.
Jonty Brown showing that he's so effective within those inside shots within the paint, showing that he's kind of that match to Sean Russell on the other end and being very competitive in that role.
And almost by magic, the margin is out to 9. So Salties 37, Rollerhawks 28. Knowles drives baseline. Just a minute remaining the second quarter. It's the grand final. National Wheelchair Basketball League. Coming to you from Shell Harbour City Stadium. As that missed shot rolls out of bounds. Stephen Elliott having a little bit of trouble getting Sean Russell's attention there, as you can hear in the background. Does so eventually and substitutes him. O'Neill Thorne calls out a play. Hannah Dodd was held up there in the backcourt by Sam White. Sam White has the advantage of being in the paint. O'Neill Thorne has a couple of shots blocked. He's not happy. Nick Taylor with the almost perfect baseball pass. It's just a touch too long for Stephen Elliott. He's out of his chair, but up in an instant.
And almost taking out a camera in the process. Can be quite a difficult thing to fall out at speed and try and control that.
Not sure if the baseline cameraman saw him coming that quickly. It's an absolute laser pass inside from Jalen Brown. Is broken up by Tristan Knowles. Just 30 seconds remaining. Nick Taylor scans the floor. Kicks it across to Knowles. He comes back around, uses the Elliott screen, gets in the paint. Drives right through. Scoops the layup in. The clock ticks down. 12 and just 10 seconds remaining. O'Neill Thorne kicks to Johnny Brown. Shot fake. Jalen Brown comes round, takes a wide arc, launches a three. It's off. Half time here in the gold medal game. It's the Darwin Salties 37, the Wollongong Rollerhawks 30.
Yeah, and the Rollerhawks looking really strong here. I like that. Those past couple passages of play, they got a couple steals and a couple turnovers that are really, really important, and just not being able to get that lead back necessarily, but keeping really, really close in with the Salties and not letting them get away from it.
Right. This is the last of 10 games this weekend, Campbell. What's been the highlight for you today?
Ooh, highlights. Almost. I honestly think the run that Rio Fujimoto went on in the previous game we saw between these two teams yesterday, he was on fire, shot 75%, and the Rollerhawks really just not having an answer for him. So I'm hoping to see that come back a little bit and get the Salties have a little bit more of a lead than what they've got at the moment. They're not too comfortable with just that 7 points, and
Yeah, the inclusion of the international players, a couple of whom have been sprinkled between the teams, has been a fantastic initiative. We've seen Emmanuel Fuentes Cervantes in the Manly team, who finished up fourth, made it to the finals in their initial year. And really that cross-pollination is a crucial part of the league moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it gives players a little bit of an experience of what other countries' play styles are like, and just gives them more interaction with countries that they're not necessarily too used to. Gives them contacts. We know a lot of Australian players do go and play overseas, especially in Europe. So it's a really important thing.
Yeah, and hopefully the upcoming Paralympics can cement that relationship and expose a few more international players to the standard of play in Australia and the fact that there is a national league up and running again. Right, with the players taking a break and talking strategy, we will do the same, and we'll join you shortly before the start of the second half. Welcome back for the second half, the last 20 minutes of the entire season in the Wheelchair National Basketball League. It's grand final day here, and the gold medal still in dispute. It's the Darwin Salties at halftime, 37, leading the Wollongong Rollerhawks, 30. Campbell, you've been having a look at the statistics to this point. What has caught your eye?
I think those threes on the side of the Salties, they took quite a few threes at the start of the game. They're shooting 3 from 11 at the moment. I think if a couple of those had been two-pointers that they could have taken inside, we know how comfortable they are with those inside shots. They might be at a little bit of a better advantage at this point. But also the Rollerhawks just shooting a little bit lower of a percentage than you'd want them to. They're shooting at 48% as a team. That's something that they can pick up, and we know that they can shoot very, very well. So if they can manage to bring that up even just a little bit, they'll tie up this game and really give us a good ending to this weekend.
It's a full house here at the Shell Harbour City Stadium. This event and the entire weekend and the season brought to you by Wheelchair Basketball Australia and the fantastic people at the Beluga Foundation. The referees just having their own little conference. They go to fetch the teams from their respective huddles. And Campbell, we had the pleasure at halftime of watching Japanese Paralympic legend Ryo Fujimoto go through his own halftime routine, and it was a wondrous display of skill.
Yeah, it's a fantastic thing. He's a very, very skilled player, and he's almost ritualistic in the way that he warms up. He does his consistent thing every single game, including several threes that he was able to drop from that warm-up. And hopefully that can be something that he can translate into this game.
Yeah, there's a movement drill that he was doing across the court that could easily have been featured in Dancing with the Stars, I think. All right, we're almost ready to get underway. Third quarter. Gold medal game. And Nick Taylor gets us underway for the Rollerhawks in the black, Darwin Salties in the powder blue. Taylor down on the baseline. Looks, skip past to Stibners. A little off target. But catches Jalen Brown's head and rolls out of bounds. 11 seconds remaining on the shot clock for the Rollerhawks to manufacture something. Stibners with the inbound. Leans back, measures it. But it's unsuccessful. Jalen Brown the rebound. Brown patiently down the middle. Finds O'Neill Thorne. A little bit of a role reversal there. O'Neill Thorne makes the layup.
Again, the Salties like that. They like that fast play. They were moving up the court very quickly from that transition. One player already up the court by the time the ball had reached half.
Sean Russell back on the floor with his 3 personal fouls. Finds Stibners. He goes to the left hand with the reverse. A bit of a transition collision at mid-court. Not an unusual situation. Brown hands off to O'Neill Thorne. Skips to Johnny Brown. Drives baseline. Cut off. Hook pass back to O'Neill Thorne. He measures the 3. It's long. Knowles the rebound. Looks to escape. Yannick Blair trying to induce an 8-second count. The ball just gets over in time to Stibners. To Russell. His reverse spinning layup with the right hand just won't go. Jalen Brown in transition. Gets his way right down into the paint. Flips one off the back of the rim. Gets the offensive board. And makes the layup.
Things getting a little bit heated on court. All players getting a little bit loud and aggressive.
As we see Brett Stibners out of his chair. Tom O'Neill Thorne asserting it was just an accidental collision. And apparently The players taking objection to Stibner's taking a route out of court to get back on the floor.
And arguing that he only gets a warning for that first infraction there, and you'd think that he would know better than that by now.
As opposed to a technical foul. Anyway, play goes on. Sean Russell using multiple screens finds Knowles. His left-hand hook pass to Russell, cutting, finishes. Margin back to 7. Salties 41. Rollerhawks 34. Jalen Brown skips a pass across to Tom O'Neill-Thorne. He drives baseline. Finds a gap. Draws some contact. Foul on Tristan Knowles. He appeals in vain for an elbow. Officials are at pains to explain that he didn't have a legal guarding position. It's a tricky business to officiate, Campbell.
It's a very difficult thing, especially you've got so many places to look, and especially there's a lot of things that happen off ball. There's a lot of contact that happens off ball, and you can't watch it all. You've got to rely on looking where most things are going to happen.
All right, that second free throw is good. Margin out to 8 in favour of Darwin. Tristan Knowles effortlessly wheels down the floor. Cut off by Jalen Brown. Now Jonty Brown. Tom O'Neill-Thorne retreats to block his route to the hoop. Shot clock running down. Stibners balances himself, releases it. Draws nothing but air. No shot clock violation as Darwin had the rebound already. Jonty Brown. Brilliant bounce pass. Unfortunately, O'Neill-Thorne can't finish.
Salty's doing everything right in that situation. The perfect transition, and then that roll just not going.
Knowles uses multiple screens from Dodd and Russell. A couple of players held up in the backcourt. Knowles drives middle. Shot clock running down. Gets himself to a point where he can make a layup. Chairs caught up there. Referee calls a halt temporarily to allow them to disengage. Tristan Knowles flips his chair up to do so, but is denied access out of the backcourt by Jonty Brown and Sam White. As Tom O'Neill-Thorne comes forward, Stibners turns to meet him, finds Jonty Brown, couple of shot fakes, shots long, Stibners the rebound, fakes the outlet pass, looks around, finds Nick Taylor. Tristan Knowles, an incredible 360 there to stay under control. Back to Russell. Knowles, I think, may have a problem with one of his wheels. He's asked the official to stop the play, just checking the traction there. Mechanics onto the floor. Mechanic in the shape of Rollerhawks team manager James Williams. He is a jack of all trades. Takes the wheel. Tristan will do his own pit stop. Takes a breath. And away we go.
It's a surprisingly common thing to just exchange wheels if one's gone flat or something's come up, and put the spare on and keep moving.
Yeah, Formula One has nothing on this. Nick Taylor takes the inbound pass back to Knowles. Knowles looks middle. Back to Taylor. Looping pass to Stibners. Shot clock goes off in the background. The Rollerhawks caught unawares there after the delay. As the horn sounds to notify some substitutions are imminent. Luke Popel back on the floor. Nick Taylor takes a break. Stephen Elliott as well. Sean Russell with his 3 fouls takes a spell. Traffic jam just before halfway. They'll all find their way out of it. Jalen Brown dribbles down, thinks about the three, finds O'Neill Thorne cutting baseline. He's fouled by Popel. Just the second team foul this quarter for the Rollerhawks. The Salties inbound. Jalen Brown spies a lane. Stibness cuts it off. Popel comes down. Can't prevent Brown from making the high arcing shot over him. Another jam in the background. Knowles takes advantage. Streaks down the floor. Finds a running Elliott. Or a rolling Elliott, it's probably more appropriately put. He makes the layup.
And that's what we've needed from Stephen Elliott on this Rollerhawks side. They need a little bit more speed, someone to kind of push the play a little bit harder.
Brett Stibner's looking a little frustrated there. Commits the foul. Salties inbound, leading by 6. It's the Darwin Salties 44, the Wollongong Rollerhawks 38. Quarter 3 of the grand final. The National Wheelchair Basketball League coming to you from Shell Harbour City Stadium. Jalen Brown for the Salties. Drives baseline, kicks back to Tom O'Neill Thorne. His three is good.
Finally, some of those threes on the side of the Salties starting to drop, and that could spell danger for the Rollerhawks.
Margin back to an almost critical 9 points in favour of the Salties. Stibness drives baseline, uses the screen. Popel rolls, finger roll. Perfect two-man game there.
That's really, really good to see from Luke Popel. We're used to seeing him as kind of the emergency outside shooter, but having that finger roll inside is a really good thing.
Brown back to Jonty Brown. That was Jalen Brown passing to Jonty Brown. Drives middle. Finds Yannick Blair, the behind-the-back pass. Or behind the head pass. Finds Jalen Brown, he flips it in. Knowles looking to push for Wollongong. Finds both Browns guarding him. Popel looking to use the Elliott screen. Drives baseline, Elliott rolls. Popel looks inside, shot clock running down. Stibness finds Dodd. Dodd shot short. Elliott manages to get it up, can't get the rim. Jonty Brown, the outlet. Jalen Brown gathers himself, shots a little long. Knowles the rebound. Kicks it out to Popel. Elliott jams Brown in the back court. Popel's grabbed. Yannick Blair assessed with that foul. A foul akin to some we've seen at the able-bodied Olympics in the last few weeks, particularly the European teams, the masters of shutting down transition.
And I think that's honestly a smart foul. It's a risky thing getting into his third foul, but just to slow that down and get their set defense back in and force the Rollerhawks into a slower offense here.
The Salties holding a 9-point advantage. Just 3 minutes remaining in this quarter, and one after that for the Rollerhawks to find a way to get their beaks in front. That shot's off. Fujimoto back on the floor with the rebound. His usual plethora of fakes. Finds Blair. Jalen Brown content to slow things down on this occasion. Fujimoto thinks about the three. Certainly makes the defender think about the three. Stibness closes out on O'Neill Thorne. Popel does his best to contest Jalen Brown's shot, but to no avail.
And that's that mismatch shot that Jalen Brown likes. There's no way that the defender can get a hand to that ball, and he has all the time in the world to take that shot.
Popel hands off to Knowles. Knowles, a couple of head fakes, drives middle, finds a little bit of contact. Manages to keep Fujimoto on his wheel and makes the layup. Fujimoto now with a smile on his face, jamming Knowles in the backcourt. Brendan Dowler has seen enough. He's going to call a timeout. The score sitting The Darwin Salties 51, Wollongong Rollerhawks 42. Just 2.25 minutes remaining in this grand final of the National Wheelchair Basketball League.
The Salties looking really strong here. I mean, they've been able to push that fast offense and get a few inside looks, especially with drawing a couple fouls. And the Rollerhawks just not really having an answer for it at this point, getting up to 3 fouls and a few players getting in a little bit of trouble and just looking a little bit frantic here. And we know the Salties like to play that frantic game. That's pretty much their element. So,
despite that, Campbell, the last couple of possessions, the Salties almost noticeably took the air out of the ball a little bit and ran a little bit of half-court offense. Do you think that's already there, looking at the scoreboard and being guided by that?
Yeah, I think that it's a little bit that, and I think they know that the Rollerhawks have kind of tacked on to how they're playing and playing a little bit faster. Stephen Elliott coming out and pushing that really fast offense, and them just responding a little bit by saying, okay, we'll slow it down back to a play style that you don't want to play anymore.
Right, well, we've had our man Tim Fairs, who's been listening in to the Rollerhawks huddle. Tim, what can you tell us?
Yeah, that one was an interesting timeout. There was pretty much a player-led timeout on that one, so Coach Dower obviously called it, but the players were doing most of the talking, and the message there was that they need to break through this Salties pressure that they're putting on. Once they do that, they're able to find an easy bucket. So let's see if they can do that coming out next play.
Thanks, Tim. And Campbell, not an unusual situation to have a player-led timeout in a Brendan Dowler coach team.
Yeah, absolutely. With the experience on this side of the Rollerhawks, why wouldn't he let the players lead it a little bit? They know exactly what's happening on court, how it's feeling, and they can give a little bit more information to that.
Well, despite that calm approach in the timeout, Tom O'Neill-Thorne's having none of it, and he hits a 3 straight out of the timeout to push the lead to 12. Knowles gets his way to the middle and efficiently makes the short 2. Ball with O'Neill-Thorne. Once again, he's in no particular hurry. Finds Fujimoto. He rolls into the 3. Goodness, that looked threatening. But the Rollerhawks with a chance to get this lead under double digits. Luke Popel thinks about the 3, head fakes, gets past Fujimoto, but is fouled by Fujimoto.
Fujimoto not too happy with that contact, thinking that he was knocked back into the player. But I think he did pull back a little bit and create that contact.
It's hard to tell that he's not happy sometimes because he's always smiling.
You have to be able to interpret a happy smile and an angry smile at this point.
Nonetheless, that is his 3rd foul. He's just let the bench know that he's well aware of that and can play on with same. Luke Popel was going to inbound. The officials just waiting for the clock to reset. 2 officials just in consultation there, and in fact, Henji Sato McFarlane will come over just to make sure things are all in place. I think a couple of seconds had run off the clock inadvertently.
And that could make all the difference, those 3 seconds. It's a valuable thing in this game.
We've got a minute remaining officially now. As Knowles takes the inbound pass, wheels around, thinks about 3, fakes, finds Stibners, catch and shoot from him. Elliott with the offensive rebound, just can't quite get it to go. He's been in a perfect position a few times, Stephen Elliott. Tom O'Neill-Thorne, in no particular hurry, skips towards Fujimoto, but it's cut out by Jalen Brown. Fujimoto does a 360 to fake himself out, almost. Elliott the board. Jalen Brown with a diving deflection, which then came off the back of Tristan Knowles. Just wonderful effort there.
That's exactly what we were talking about. Jalen Brown likes to put his body on the line. He's willing to fall out for those and win the ball back.
He really does play like a rubber ball. He's got those tremendously long arms as well, and he showed a beautiful shooting touch this afternoon. So he takes a dribble on the left-hand wing. Uses the screen from Sam White. Looks at the long two. Calmly puts it down. Margin back to 12. Just a couple of seconds remaining. Luke Popel with the Hail Mary that almost goes. But with just a quarter remaining, it's the Darwin Salties 56, the Wollongong Rollerhawks with it all to do, 44.
Yeah, the Rollerhawks have really got a difficult 10 minutes ahead of them. I think they absolutely could claw this back, but it's going to be a hard fight, and we know that the Salties are really here to win this. They're playing aggressive, putting their body on the line, and they want to get there.
So for Coach Brendan Dowler, what sort of tactics would be available to him to try and either accelerate the game or put the pressure back on the Salties?
I think they've got to be slowing it down. I think the Salties, while they are slowing it down, they're not as comfortable playing that kind of game. Obviously, we've seen, again, Jalen Brown looking for those steals. He likes to play scrappy.
The Elliott screen, gets in the...
And we know that the Rollerhawks want to play a little bit more of a set game and take some simple shots, but they have to be able to shut down Jalen Brown at this point. He's scoring very well. He's got 17 points to his name, and he's finding it very, very difficult for the Rollerhawks to stop him.
And if you're looking for any news, features, fixtures, or other information, it's all there on the Wheelchair Basketball Australia website, wba.net.au, and full coverage on every one of the social mediums you can think of. Facebook, it's Wheelchair Basketball Australia. Instagram at Wheelchair Basketball Australia, and Twitter, or X as it's now known, at Wheelchair Hoops. You'll find live stats, season statistics, stories, features, a great video series, Bounce Stop, profiling some of the wonderful stars in the men and women's National Wheelchair Basketball Leagues. As the players are back on the floor, Nick Taylor back on in 14 for the Rollerhawks, along with Stibners, Russell, Hannah Dodd and Knowles. For the Salties, it's Tom O'Neill-Thorne, Jonty Brown about to inbound the ball, Rio Fujimoto, Yannick Blair and Sam White.
Yannick Blair, having played the whole game so far, he hasn't been able to get a break and not showing any signs of stopping.
So O'Neill-Thorne running some sort of design play back to Fujimoto. White screens towards the baseline. He ignores that. Goes to Jonty Brown. His shot is short. Russell the rebound. Off to Tristan Knowles. He looks at a couple of potential passing options. Thinks better of them. Finds Stibners. He uses the Hannah Dodd screen. Finds Russell cutting to the hoop. Point blank miss, unfortunately. O'Neill-Thorne going the other way. Stibners will cut him off. Fujimoto, arms waving wildly. He manages to find contact. Tristan Knowles pleads with the official that foul was on the floor and not in the shooting motion. Fujimoto with his trademark grin.
Luckily this time they'll agree with him.
Sam White hands off to O'Neill-Thorne. Fujimoto calls for a screen. Unguarded, rolls into a three. And the Rollerhawks maybe dodge another one there. Knowles comes middle, looks at three. It looked good in flight, a little long. Hannah Dodd, a fantastic offensive rebound from her position. Knowles cuts. Russell.
Tristan Knowles able to do it all at this point. Taking a three from one side and then finding inside shots on the outside, on the other side rather.
A laser-like pass there. As O'Neill-Thorne drives middles, cut off, finds Jonty Brown. Just too much height inside. Margin back to 12. Early stages, last quarter, gold medal game. National Wheelchair Basketball League coming to you from Shell Harbour City Stadium. My name's Brendan Parnell, joined by Campbell Fraser. Brett Stibners rolls out. Beautifully manufactured pass to Russell. He appears to be falling backwards out of his chair, maintains his balance. Fujimoto got a hand on him. He made the shot, and one bonus free throw to come.
That's a dangerous thing for Rio Fujimoto, getting onto 4 fouls. That's not a position he wants to be in, especially with how crucial he is to this Salty side.
And he, in fact, will take a spell with that 4th foul.
I suspect he'll be coming on later to finish out the game or get that 5th foul.
Jalen Brown back onto the floor in place of Fujimoto. Russell almost wheeling away from the line before he released that shot, and it's a little short. Margin sits at 10. Darwin Salties 58, Wollongong Rollerhawks 48. O'Neill Thorne at the top of the key, guarded by Knowles. Flicks it off to Johnny Brown. Jalen Brown cuts middle. He really has the geometry all worked out for that bank shot. Knowles kicks ahead to Stibners. Dodd makes a cut. Clips Stibners on the way through. Bit of friendly fire. Stibners drives baseline. He's got a lane, looks around, fakes multiple times. Gets the shot up and in. Oh. Jalen Brown travelling at 100 miles an hour. Saw a narrow gap. He was clipped. Sean Russell's not convinced there was a gap there. The official is. That'll be Russell's 4th foul. And he earns a warning from crew chief Blaine Karapianov. Just a little too much to say there. The frustration understandable. The reaction just a little much.
Especially when contact's coming in that hard, you really want to react every time.
Johnny Brown sees his 3-point attempt go in, out, and ultimately out. Knowles looking to attack on transition, drawing multiple defenders. Finds Taylor, the hook pass back to Stibners, pass fake, goes left off Russell, shot clock dribbles down under 10. Hannah Dodd, no look pass from Stibners. Dodd's layup's good. That brings a roar. A young woman who's playing back-to-back grand finals.
You can see why she's earned that first one and looking to make the second one.
Jalen Brown weaves, looking for a lane to the basket. It's not there. Back to Johnny Brown. He cups the ball in his left hand, goes back to Jalen Brown, back to O'Neill Thorne. Shot clock running down, forced to release a 3. It does another lap of honour. Falls out. Knowles the rebound to Taylor. Rollerhawks consciously looking to push. Stibners ahead. He throws a left-hand hook pass to Russell. Back to Knowles. Lines up the 3. No, he doesn't. Back to Stibners. Mid-range shot. It's a little long. Blair desperately trying to get to the rebound. Jalen Brown's out of his chair. Yannick Blair is fouled.
Very scrappy couple seconds of play, and Jalen Brown, I think, getting on the floor twice in that play. But getting back up and moving back on.
Jalen Brown out of his chair again, something he's extremely familiar with.
Like we've said this entire game, this is how the Salties like to play. They like to play that aggression, and it's getting the better of the Rollerhawks side.
Margin sits just at 8, but a tick under 6 minutes remaining. Jalen Brown surveys the floor. O'Neill Thorne making a cut from the right-hand side, comes back towards the elbow. Jalen Brown takes his eye off the ball for just a second, and the pass from Johnny Brown catches his wheel and rolls out of bounds for a turnover.
A dangerous miscommunication there. That could spell danger for the Salties. They don't want to give up anything at this point.
Nick Taylor to inbound. Tristan Knowles gives the ball a wipe. Turns around, finds Stibners, who finds the bottom of the basket. Salties 60, Rollerhawks 54. 5 minutes and 20-odd seconds remaining. Jalen Brown drives left, cut off by Knowles. Back to O'Neill Thorne, he'll release a 3. That's long. Russell the rebound. Dodd provides the coverage for Knowles to roll out of the backcourt. Knowles looks at a three in transition. It's good. As you can hear, the horn goes. The timeout is called. The Salties want to have a look at things. What was seemingly an insurmountable lead just 2 minutes ago has dissolved almost.
Yeah, the Rollerhawks really finding their stride here and finding a couple of threes that the Salties haven't been able to answer. Their shooters have gone just a little bit cold, the contact getting a bit aggressive, and maybe they're putting a little bit more energy back into the Rollerhawks. They were looking a little bit risky on that contact, but now they look like they're almost enjoying it and getting the better out of it.
Right, so just to reset things here, Campbell, neither team in particular foul trouble at this stage. We're 4 minutes and 54 seconds remaining. 3 team fouls for the Rollerhawks, just the one for the Salties. So plenty of flexibility if they do get to a situation where they may need to foul.
Absolutely, and the Rollerhawks really don't want to get into foul trouble here.
We've had our man Tim, he's been listening into what might have been a more animated Salties timeout. Tim, what can you tell us?
Came from Tom O'Neill-Thorne leading in the chat there. They just want the players to make sure that they're moving, not staying stagnant. And that's one of the big things they said. They're going to try and trap Brett Stibners down the corner and play 4 out. So we'll see how that goes for him.
Thanks, Tim. Stibners really the focus of the Salties timeout, trying to deny his impact.
Yeah, he's put a few too many points on the board, and the Salties definitely not happy about that and don't really have an answer for him.
And Sam White goes baseline, can't make his shot go. Jalen Brown manages to get hold of the steal. Has his chair clipped. He's down again, but he will go to the free throw line. Officials just conversing to make sure of exactly what they've seen from different perspectives. I'm sure they've got the correct call on this one.
And that's the danger that the Rollerhawks didn't want to get into. They're now into 4 fouls, and if they get any more, they'll keep sending the Salties to the line, and that's not a position that they want to be in.
It was some excellent backcourt pressure from the Salties after the Rollerhawks secured that defensive rebound that all of a sudden passing lanes were cut off. The ball flipped up in the air. Next thing you know, Jalen Brown had hold of it and was sailing to the hoop. His free throws, the first one of same, is short, however. Margin remains at 3. Second shot, the crowd doing their best to have an impact. Nick Taylor inbounds. Stibners triple teamed. Kicks it ahead to Russell. To Knowles. The rest of the players roll back into the action. Knowles skips to Stibners. He looks at Russell inside. Russell manages the catch. Makes the layup. We're back to 2 points. 4 minutes remaining. Gold medal on the line.
This is exactly what we were looking for from both of these teams. We knew they could get a lot closer than they did in the previous game. This is a very strong fight from the Rollerhawks.
It's the National Wheelchair Basketball League Grand Final. Fujimoto drives middle. Pass falls out of his hands somehow and over the baseline and back to the Rollerhawks. Stibners takes the inbound. It's guarded by Yannick Blair. Kicks ahead to Knowles. Knowles looking to run a 2-man game with Russell. Retreats. Shot clock ticks down to 10. It's Taylor. It's cut off, looking at the Dodd screen. Wheels a pass to Stibners. His 3 takes a look, but rolls out. Yeah, Jalen Brown with an amazing touchdown pass. But Tom O'Neill-Thorne was guarded. Retreats out. Fujimoto is surely open. He was, and banks it in.
And the patience on Fujimoto, just taking a second, even knowing the defense was coming out to him, finding his line and getting that shot.
Knowles takes the inbound pass, looks down the floor, finds Russell. He's guarded by O'Neill Thorne. Finds Stibners. He wheels around, Fujimoto in his way. Russell comes with the screen, but the skip pass goes to Knowles. He looks to drive middle. Shot clock goes down under 10. Stibners for 3. That's long. Dodd can't get to the rebound.
And you'd think the Salties at this point have got to milk every shot clock that they've got. They've got to waste that time and try and keep this lead ahead.
2 minutes and 34 seconds remaining to decide who will be the 2024 national champions. It's the Darwin Salties 63, Wollongong Rollerhawks 59. The ball with Rio Fujimoto. Back to Tom O'Neill Thorne. He thinks about 3. Decides against it. Fujimoto with the lovely pump fake, no-look pass. Blair can't get it to go. Punches the ball out. Fujimoto, his shot's long. Knowles the rebound. Stibners takes a look around to see what's happening behind him. Has Nick Taylor streaking down the floor. Left-hand layup's good. 2-point game. Salties 63, Rollerhawks 61. Jalen Brown drives middle, clutches onto the ball. Fujimoto appears from nowhere with a pass. It's knocked away. And there's a foul. Tom O'Neill Thorne's pleading with the official, but the foul is assessed on him.
Luckily, not too much foul trouble for the Salties just yet, especially not on Tom.
Yeah, just the second team foul this quarter. Ball's kicked ahead to Knowles. He thought about the 3, drove baseline. Fujimoto covers that drive. Kicks back across. Skip pass, intercepted by O'Neill Thorne. He's out on the break. Has Jalen Brown running with him. He's clipped down on the floor. O'Neill Thorne the rebound. No call. Sam White somehow gets hold of the offensive rebound and is knocked to the floor. Nick Taylor assessed with the foul. That's his 3rd. And as the Rollerhawks are over the limit now in this quarter, that limit being 5, Sam White will head to the free throw line with a chance to push this margin out to more than one possession. It's sitting at 2 at the moment. The Salties 63, Rollerhawks 61.
And this is really where the Rollerhawks didn't want to be. They didn't want to be in this foul trouble. Probably, if anyone to send to the line on the Salties that the Rollerhawks want, it would be a lower point player, but it's still a dangerous position.
Sam White getting all the encouragement the home crowd can muster. First one's a stray. Second's a little long. Stibners the rebound. If that foul's on Fujimoto, that'll be curtains for him. Rio shakes his head, but he will have to leave the game.
That's an unfortunate situation for the Salties to be in. That was a very, very difficult thing. Rio's been a very, very important player on their side, and with that last minute, that could spell it all.
Ball's kicked ahead. Rollerhawks in possession, looking to tie the lead. Knowles drives middle, draws some contact. The layup's good. We're all tied up. 68 seconds remaining. A pulsating affair here at Shell Harbour Stadium. Jalen Brown drives, makes the score, but the official has other ideas. He's indicated an offensive foul. They're now trying to determine if the shot was released before the contact. No score is the ruling. Jalen Brown still lying on his back, just adjusting his chair. He'll flip himself up in a minute. That will be the 4th team foul this quarter. So for both teams, they're now in the bonus. Any subsequent fouls will attract or concede 2 free throws to the other team.
It's an uncomfortable position for both teams now. It's do or die at this point.
For a league that started back in the middle of June, we've had a full home and away series covering almost every state and territory in Australia. We now come down to the last 59.7 seconds in a tie game. Ball's inbounded, down court to Knowles. He looks around, wheels right, left, spies a gap, tries to get to the hoop, looks around, finds Russell, back to Stibners, to Nick Taylor, back to Knowles, shot clock trickles down to 12. Knowles looks for the lob to Russell. He draws some contact, tries to flip the reverse up, it won't go. Jalen Brown the rebound. .30 seconds remaining. Johnny Brown. Tom O'Neill-Thorne drives middle. Flips to Johnny Brown. He tries to get the shot away. Foul called. It's Sean Russell. As you can hear in the background, that's his 5th foul as well.
I think the entire stadium sitting on the edge of their seat at this point. This is a very dangerous situation for both teams. If the Salties can drop these 2, that might just do it.
Just 23.5 seconds remaining. Johnny Brown just astray with the first. Second is good. And we're going to see a timeout by the Rollerhawks, which will give them a chance to advance the ball. 64-63, who would have thought? 23.5 seconds remaining here in the gold medal game. National Wheelchair Basketball League coming to you from Shell Harbour City Stadium.
This is an incredible game from both sides. Really putting everything out there, not willing to give up at any point. The Rollerhawks doing exceptionally well to claw back that deficit that they were seeing before, but the Salties just holding on 1 point the difference, and really 23 seconds, it could go either way at this point. I wouldn't be putting money on either side.
Right, and we've got our man Tim Fairs, who's listening in to the critical timeout from the Rollerhawks. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of feedback before play gets underway, as the Salties make their way out onto the floor. What's to find out there?
Yeah, well, Coach Sauer just reminded the players that, we just got to keep playing the game. He's just spent a lot of that time out just drawing up a set play. They're going to come out in this in a bit of a horn set and see what they can get going for Tristan Knowles. So we'll see how that rolls.
Thanks, Tim. So for anybody at home unfamiliar with a horn set, the idea will be Tristan Knowles to get hold of the ball and to make use of a screen on either side. As Stibness protects it. I think they've back to Knowles. He chooses to go right. Back to Stibners. Contact inside. The official has called a foul. Luke Popel almost made his way to the hoop on that brilliantly executed play. Managed to get the rebound and was fouled. Tom O'Neill-Thorne with the foul there.
This is not someone that they want to have at the free throw line. Popel's been very effective here throughout the season.
But the first one is short. Just 4.9 seconds to play either way. Both teams still with a timeout to take. Popel's second one is good. And this time it's the Salties with the timeout. They will be able to advance the ball. and will have 4.9 seconds to manufacture their own potentially game-winning play.
You think they have to take a three at this point? They don't have enough time to really set anything up too much inside unless they can manage to get one player inside really effectively, but that's going to be very, very hard. You're going to be looking at a long three, and really if any team could make it, it's probably this team. Unfortunately, they don't have the three-throw machine of Ryo Fujimoto, but certainly the Salties could be up to this challenge.
In such a compressed 18-game season, Campbell, there's only been a handful of overtime games during the year, and possibly a question of how many short clock situations teams have practiced. Our man Tim Fairs has been in the huddle with the Salties. What are they looking at, Tim?
Yeah, that was an interesting one. Coach Arvidsson just turned around and said to Tom O'Neill Thorne who was going to take it, and he said, I am. So we're going to run a little bit of a play here, try and get Tom the ball. If not, they're going to look at Jonty Brown and try and win it from here.
Keeping it simple. Thanks, Tim. So simplicity the message. O'Neill Thorne or Brown. O'Neill Thorne catches, releases the three. And he nails it. Hannah Dodd in the perfect spot. That was unconscious, Campbell.
That is absolutely incredible. He had a defender rolling into him, made the contact, still shooting through, got the simple three, a position that he's admittedly very, very comfortable from. So I'm not surprised, but that's an incredible turn of events for the Salties.
We just heard Tim say about the previous Salties timeout that Coach Ivinson was extremely calm and said to Tom O'Neill Thorne, you take it. And that's exactly what happened. Hannah Dodd did all that a defender could do, hand up in the face, contesting that shot. O'Neill Thorne was just money.
And making sure she didn't get the foul through, that would have been a very dangerous thing to commit that foul, wasting time.
All is not lost. All's not lost for the Rollerhawks. They have 1.9 seconds. Manufacture their own shot. And I know Tim was in that timeout. Tim, anything we can look for very quickly?
They're going to try and get this to Tristan Knowles for the three to tie it all up here.
Right. Ball's in. Elliott. Pause. Stibners. Oh! Catches the glass. Front of the rim. Ever so close. But it's the Darwin Salties. Their second year in the National League, an abbreviated league in 2022. They've taken a national title from the Northern Territory and Darwin, and what an amazing game, Campbell.
Absolutely incredible, an amazing showing from these athletes on the Salties side. The Rollerhawks really giving it to them the entire time and threatening that game the entire 40 minutes, but that fantastic three just coming away and giving that little advantage that they needed to pull ahead.
I think most players and spectators would say that getting to the end of a game like that, if somebody takes the game and wins it, nobody can really feel upset about it. Undoubtedly for the Rollerhawks, it's going to be a frustrating night, and think about the what-ifs, but really Tom O'Neill Thorne just took that game by the scruff of the neck with that shot.
And really playing so well the entire game. We have to give credit to the Salties side. A couple of players doing so well to keep that game in check. Tom O'Neill Thorne himself shooting extremely well and then hitting that three just to save the game. It's a fantastic showing and a fantastic effort from everyone across this weekend.
Well, I think it's a fitting end to what's been a fantastic re-emergence of the National Wheelchair Basketball League for men and for women. Who could have thought that at the start of this season we'd finish up with a shot with 1.9 seconds remaining would decide the last gold medal. But that's the way it's turned out. We're thankful for you tuning in to watch. Hopefully it's been incredibly entertaining. On behalf of Campbell Fraser, it's Brendan Parnell signing off. We will leave you now with pictures of the presentation, and you'll be able to watch through to the end. Thank you.